Do you remember my video from about a month ago where I purchased a self-defense mystery scoop from TikTok? No? Me neither, because it's been so long since I placed that order that I just fully forgot it even existed. If you're new here, my name is Bunny, and I post reviews of those absolutely abhorrent, infectious, and annoying TikTok stores that sell AI slop, mystery scoops, self-defense items, bootleg plushies, you name it. And my dream since the beginning of my channel, since the beginning of my life, essentially, is to actually order from one of these stores and do a direct comparison between the items provided from the store and the items from AliExpress. If you're confused, essentially, the theory is that all of these stores are either drop shipping or just straight up reselling items that are easily available and extremely cheap from sites such as Alibaba, AliExpress, and Shein. The usual premise of my videos is following along with the packing videos posted by these TikTokers, and for every item that they show on the screen, we find a similar, if not exactly the same item from AliExpress or Alibaba that is sold for literally cents, if not a couple dollars maximum. We then compare the prices to see if the customer is getting a good deal or if the seller is just repackaging AliExpress slop and adding another $15 to $20 on top of it. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm not just doing the research online. I have physically purchased and received an order from both a TikTok seller and AliExpress themselves. So not every item is going to be exactly the same, and some of the items I was not able to obtain. With that being said, I need to make a very, very important disclaimer here before we start the video. Multiple of the products that will be shown later in this video are completely illegal for me to own in my country. Unfortunately, the seller that I purchased from on TikTok did not do any research whatsoever on the import and export laws of the country that they live in, as well as the countries that they are shipping out to. So all of these items will not have a direct comparison, because obviously I knew I was not able to source these items in New Zealand and assumed that this seller was not going to illegally send them to me. Therefore, I did not buy an equivalent on AliExpress, because then I would be committing two crimes at once. I will not be testing multiple of these items because not only are they extremely unsafe and flimsy and low-key scary, I just don't feel comfortable doing that when I should not have them in my possession in the first place. So just legally covering my ass here. After filming this video, I have safely and legally, to the best of my ability, disposed of these items and let the appropriate people know that they exist. On top of sending me fully illegal items, breaking the law on like 4 or 5 different counts in this order alone, this seller also dragged me through the mud during the process of just receiving the order. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it was a month ago when I first uploaded about this. At the time of posting this video, it has been a month and a half to almost 2 months since placing the original order. Immediately after placing the order, I received a confirmation email saying that I had purchased it. I was like, great, cool, I'll sit here and I'll wait for the tracking number that they say will be coming soon. A week passed. I did not receive a tracking number. However, I did receive an email from the seller saying, hey, it looks like you were trying to place an order on my website, but you didn't. How about you go to my other shady website and use this discount code to buy the same thing again? And I was sitting here staring at my computer like, what do you mean I didn't order from you? I recorded the entire process. I have proof of the money coming out of my bank account, as well as proof of me sitting here, adding the items to my cart and celebrating when the payment actually went through. What do you mean I didn't purchase from you? So obviously I replied and I said, hey, here's proof of the order. I absolutely did order from you. When are you going to ship it? And you know what they said? Maybe you ordered from somebody else. Huh? What do you mean? What does this mean? So I replied again, and I provided multiple screenshots, proof of the order, and I mentioned that I had recorded the entire process. Like, it did happen. This wasn't an alternate universe. The order exists, but they're just refusing to believe that it does. After I provided this proof, they stopped replying. So I gave it a couple of weeks. I was like, maybe it's just confusion. Maybe there's a language barrier. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes. It's not my business. I'll sit and I'll wait. And when it was completely silent for multiple of those weeks, I decided I'm just going to go to PayPal and get a refund, because clearly I'm not going to be getting these products. And not only am I disappointed, but a lot of you guys are probably going to be disappointed that I can't even make the video that I was planning to make. I opened PayPal, I submitted a dispute. I said that not only were the products not shipped, but there was no video recorded or posted to TikTok of them packing my order, which I had paid extra for. Do you know what PayPal said? They said, we can't refund you because they've provided a tracking number. Here's the tracking number. Huh? There was a tracking number the whole time? They didn't give it to me. So I clicked on this link, I looked at the tracking, and it said delivered 2 weeks ago. Pardon? Huh? What? This was extremely confusing. And I was low-key feeling gaslit by the universe, because what do you mean it was delivered before they told me it didn't exist? And it's also not here. Like, it's not delivered whatsoever. So I kind of just accepted the fact that I had lost my money. I had been scammed because there was nothing arrived in my possession, and they had somehow proven that it was quote-unquote delivered to my house. So I just gave up. I was getting ready to sit down and edit a video saying, hey guys, sorry, but I genuinely can't make this review. However, roughly a week after all of that happened, a little tiny box arrived at my doorstep. A little tiny box that was not the item that was being tracked with the tracking number that was provided to me. Extremely confusing, but I'm just gonna try and forget that entire process and pretend I'm excited for my TikTok shop order to finally have arrived. Although the actual products did eventually arrive, there was no packing video recorded or posted anywhere that I could find it. I will note that this seller, has about 900,000 different TikTok accounts, and of the ones I know of, I could not find any packing video with my order number or my name on it. So if that exists somewhere on the internet and you guys can find it on some random 5th account that she has, please let me know. But unfortunately, we do not have recorded evidence of the packing, which I really wanted to be a part of this video because it would be fun to compare what they show on TikTok versus what you actually receive in real life. So I'm really, really sorry that that's not going to be here. It just genuinely was not provided. I threw $15 into the void and didn't receive what I paid for. Though, with that being said, let's jump into opening our TikTok self-defense mystery scoop. Woohoo! So when the order arrived, it was in this tiny, tiny little box with like Disney Stitch stickers on it, a little blue box. It will show up later in the video, but trust me when I say it was absolutely trashed. Somehow it looked like they'd thrown it in a blender, thrown it down the stairs, drove over it with a car, and then put it in my mailbox. Anyways, inside the box was these 3 little packets, along with what seems to be a postcard, I think, and a little thank you note that lists multiple of their social medias. What I find extremely interesting is that none of these social medias are the account that I ordered from. They're also not the person that emailed me. So, what? The first item, which I assume is a freebie, it's going to be really difficult to tell what is free and what was actually included as the stuff that I paid for because they didn't do a packing video which shows the freebies and the items and stuff. So I'm just going to assume that anything that I don't recognize or anything that seems extremely random, like outside of the usual self-defense theme, I'm going to assume that these are freebies. So our first freebie are these scissors. Children's safety scissors. They're kind of cute. I don't really know why they're included with the order, how that goes with the theme whatsoever. Obviously, the people buying these products are adults. Although I do find it kind of funny that they are safety scissors. I'm actually going to keep these on the table just in case we need scissors to open something later. Moving on, we're going to open this first bag. And inside this bag, oh my god, I already see her. The love of my life, the self-defense safety pom-pom. This is confusing. It's like an octopus of metal. They did me a service by making sure everything was already clipped together in a keychain, but as you can see, it's so freaking difficult to get a hold of anything that you want on this keychain when they're all held together like this. This is not a pom-pom, this is an owl, a bird. Cute. Then we have this safety keychain. It's supposed to make noise. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, all of my neighbors are gonna hear that. Thank you. At least it works. Then we have this bootleg Nike keychain. We love bootlegging and stealing from giant companies. Slay. Then we have, oh, these are stuck together. Are these glue? Oh, so the rhinestones on the pepper spray are literally falling off. Like, they seem to be stuck on with tape. and the tape is not doing well. They're just flaking off everywhere, and everything in the package is sticking to them. It's covered in fur, it's covered in hair. But that does bring an important point. We have pepper spray. I'm not going to test this as I don't have any knowledge on the safety or the handling of pepper spray, as well as the fact that it is completely illegal for them to have shipped into my country, for me to have received as a package, and for me to be handling right now. We then have this little door opener, I believe, with a little touch pen on the side. It also kind of looks like a bottle opener. I'm not really sure what all the functions of this thing are, but I guess you could poke somebody with it. We have the good old Kubaton. Nothing much to really say about this. We all know what it is. Kind of looks like something you would find in your mom's bedside drawer. We then have the kitty knuckles. This is item number 2 that is restricted in my country and should not have been allowed across the border. I don't know how it happened, and I don't know if I'm happy about it. We then have this little whistle and the seatbelt cutter. These are usually advertised as being able to cut a seatbelt and also break through a windshield. It's supposed to have like a spring-loaded thing at the back here that you click and it like breaks the window. We're going to test that later, but I'm confused by it. Now for the second bag, these are the random junk. I don't think any of this is advertised on their store, so I think I can safely assume that this is the freebies bag. We have a moisturizing face mask. We have a little dangly rope keychain thing. I guess they want you to add this to your keychain, but it's not same color. We have this little guy. I think it's an air freshener. Let me open it. Oh, I can already smell this. Jesus Christ. This is the most like obnoxiously minty thing I've ever smelled in my life. It's not a nice mint either. It's like menthol. We then have the little wristlet, which I will include as part of the keychain. We have, what is this? Hand cream. Cute. Okay. Not part of the keychain. The little holder, part of the keychain. Lip gloss, lip balm. I don't really know the difference. I think this is lip gloss. And the little holder. And then this thing. This confused me. I'm assuming it's a smaller version of the kitty knuckles, like a ring for when you punch people. I've actually never seen one of these in a self-defense video before, so it was kind of nice to see something new. We got the scrunchie. I'm never going to use this. And this as well was completely new to me. I've never seen this in a self-defense video, and I must say, I'm genuinely impressed. This is the first thing I've ever seen that I truly believe would be useful in not only a self-defense situation, but a survival situation. Because not only is it a carabiner, it's also a little compass, and it seems to be a very reliable compass, so I might be keeping this one for myself. Here is where I get truly terrified. I'm sorry if this is too European for you guys, but I have never seen a stun gun in my life. I'm going to avoid calling this a taser. The fact that these are called tasers is completely incorrect. They are extremely low voltage. They are not able to injure an adult, let alone an adult man. The least they can do is kind of just make you a little bit uncomfortable. They're not strong, they're barely painful. I would have tested it on myself in this video if I knew anything about stun guns, but it was so freaking loud that I low-key just disposed of it. It was genuinely a shock to see this in my order because out of anything, this is the most illegal thing. This felt like if somebody shipped a gun to my house. I know, once again, it probably sounds crazy to Americans. You guys see this stuff all the time, but not once in my life have I seen, let alone handled, something that resembles a weapon like this. But yeah, I'm not going to be calling it a taser. Let's have a look at the stun gun. It includes very minimal instructions on this little sheet of paper that just tell you how to turn the light on and how to use it. It has 3 settings. You can click the button to be a light, a different light, or a taser. There's no safety lock on it, there's no child lock, and the button is just a slide button, so if this was in your pocket, you could literally just slide it all the way up and it's on and ready to shock people. Immediately, we have the same issue as the pepper spray. It's sticky, it's gunky, it's literally falling apart. Everything is sticking to it, the pieces are falling off, there's glitter everywhere. It's actually low-key disgusting because I don't know what's stuck in here. It might be from the factory, but there's like black gunk all over it. There's hair that isn't mine. It's just sticky. I'm gonna have to read the instructions here again because clearly it wasn't simple enough for me. you push it all the way up, and then you tase. Jesus Christ. That actually scared the hell out of me, but let me do it again. It was fun. Hold on. Ooh, okay. I'm having a little bit too much fun with this, but ugh, I don't like it. Get this away from me. I feel like an almond mom after she has one bite of dessert and she's like, oh, this is dangerous. Get this away from me. Here's just a close up of the fact that it's so sticky and gross. And now, drumroll please, we have the items from AliExpress. Now, I purchased the cheapest listings I could find. I did not shop around to find the best perfect equivalents like I was planning to because there was no video. I was not provided with a packing video. I didn't know what was going to be coming in my order. So I kind of just purchased what I knew would probably be in the order, the most common items. And I think I got a lot of them pretty close. So although most of these aren't an exact match, you can tell small differences between them, whether it be the shape or the color. The quality is essentially the same, but I'm just going to prove that to you myself. We're going to start with these little 3-in-1 door stylus tools. Immediately, you can tell that there is a slight difference in the shape. The one from TikTok has these indents on the side, which I assume are for your fingers, sort of just make it more comfortable to hold. But besides that, the material is exactly the same. The paint is exactly the same color, same shape, except there are little bumps in the side. Seeing this, I can assume that it is closer to this AliExpress listing than the one that I purchased. Then onto the seatbelt cutters. These are the most different out of anything. The one from AliExpress is larger, and it's actually more useful. It has a whistle on the side as well as the normal functions that the one from TikTok provides. Weight-wise and feeling-wise, it's the same type of plastic. The blade looks the same. The only difference, again, is the tip where there is a whistle instead of a piece of metal. And the little spring part that's supposed to help you break the window does not work on the one from TikTok. Like, it is so impossibly hard to press that I couldn't make it work. The AliExpress one, however, didn't have the same issue. Next, we have the little pouches. Despite being different patterns, these, to me, seem to be the exact same product. The stitching is the same, the sizing is the same, the lining is the same, the rings are the same, everything is actually perfect, like an exact match. They're cut out of the same pattern, they're stitched in the same place. The only slight difference is the one from TikTok is a little bit wonky, but obviously if you're buying mass-produced products, it's gonna look a little bit off sometimes. The wristlet is the exact same. The only difference in these is the lip gloss or lipstick or hand sanitizer holder, whatever it is, whatever you put in it. There are two options on AliExpress. I opted for the most common, which has sort of like a curve to it. But clearly TikTok went with the cheaper one, which is closer to this AliExpress listing instead of the one that I purchased. Now onto the little safety alarms. I really don't have anything to say about this. This is the exact same product. Like, it's the same size, it's the same sound, the same light, the same shape, the same keychain, the same weight, the same literally everything. The only difference is the one from AliExpress has safety features in the form of those little pull-out things that you put in the batteries to make sure the battery didn't waste or explode during shipping. TikTok didn't have that. But besides that, it is the same freaking product. I genuinely don't know what to say about this. You can get ones on AliExpress that don't have this little tab to pull out, and it's the same thing. Pom-pom, slightly different. They did change things up a little bit by getting an owl pom-pom, but once again, it's a pom-pom. I don't have anything to say about this. The one that they used is this AliExpress listing, which is slightly different to mine. The whistles, again, slightly different. I had no way of predicting what whistle they were going to give me. They do provide these skinny ones sometimes, but they gave me the double. Again, it's literally just a whistle. You can get them on AliExpress for this much. The kitty knuckles, Kupatons, everything that's like a close range, like actual violent weapon used for punching, stabbing, kicking, that sort of stuff, I did not purchase on AliExpress. So I do not have anything to compare them to. However, I do have this absolutely destroyed box that they arrived in, and we're gonna stab it. In a lot of these TikTok videos, they usually stab a piece of cardboard as if it was the attacker, as if that's somehow a realistic equivalent to human skin, flesh, bone, and muscle. So we're gonna do that. First off, we have the kitty knuckles, and I'm putting a lot of force into this, and it's not breaking all the way through the cardboard. It's only breaking through like the top clear layer of the cardboard. Honestly, I'm underwhelmed. With the little kitty ring, same thing, just smaller. I guess it would hurt if you hit somebody with this. but it's not, it genuinely does not seem like it would be able to puncture skin beyond like if you accidentally walk into like the corner of a table, you know, and it puts like a little dent in your leg and like a little bit of the skin scrapes off, but there's no blood. That's what these are feeling like. I'm putting a lot of power into this and I'm not getting through more than 2 layers of cardboard. The Kubotan, depending on how you hold them, it can be used in different ways. I'm just going to do it like this so all my pressure is on the thumb behind it. And again, I'm waiting for like a clear hole all the way through the cardboard. This is not thick cardboard. And all I'm getting is like it's slightly grazing the surface. Let me try the real OG here, the pom pom. This is the real self-defense. Okay. This was the one I am really, really curious about because everything I've seen and read online says that these seatbelt cutters are not only unable to cut seatbelts, but they cannot break windows. I'm not wanting to break any of the windows in my house for this video. However, we're going to try and cut something. I originally thought we could try cutting paper, as it's extremely thin and surely they'll be able to cut through it, but then I was like, I have this little piece of cardboard. I would assume that's slightly thicker, slightly reminiscent of a seatbelt, maybe. Seatbelts are notoriously difficult to cut through, like firemen have to use really specific tools to do this, but these are advertised by the TikToker to be able to break through a seatbelt, so let's try and cut some cardboard. With the one from the TikTok seller, it is extremely difficult. I'm not even cutting into it, like I'm breaking through with the plastic that surrounds the blade. The actual blade is not doing anything, and I ended up just ripping it with the strength of my hands rather than the blade itself. The AliExpress one, very similar. It's not cutting anything whatsoever. I would not want to rely on this to save my life to cut through a seatbelt. I'd probably be better off chewing it off with my teeth. Probably be better off getting my cat who has no teeth to chew through a seatbelt or a piece of cardboard because this cannot do it. The blades are so weak. Although it was extremely interesting to study the actual quality of these items, have them in my hands, and see how perfectly identical a lot of them are to the AliExpress listings, I'm kind of annoyed that we didn't get that packing video because in my dream scenario I would have known what I was getting before it arrived. I would have found the exact matches on AliExpress and done a perfect comparison. So although these items weren't exactly the same, I think it still does help lend to our theory that it's literally the same stuff. They're just buying mass produced stuff on AliExpress and reselling it. Everybody knows this, everybody agrees with it. But I think this just adds another layer of I told you so. Now that we've seen and played with all of the products, I actually want to break down the pricing like we usually do. So understanding that I paid 51 US dollars for this order, this keychain cost me $51. I've gone ahead and bundled together my AliExpress keychain and the equivalent items from TikTok Shop to make these two separate keychains that are arguably the same thing. I think we can safely say that because I paid $4.60 for the AliExpress keychain, this section of the TikTok order is also worth $4.61. Noting that down, we can move on to the additional items that were different or we didn't have a direct comparison for. Starting with this little compass clip, you can get 21 of them on AliExpress for $6.23, which makes an individual one roughly 29 cents. Then we have the Kubotan, which is worth a single dollar. We have this blinged out pepper spray, which is $1.76. We have this little taser, which is $4.50. The Nike lanyard, which is 8 cents. Kitty knuckles are $1.38 each. And that brings our total up to $14.34 worth of items in this order. Obviously, we're not including the freebies. I didn't order nor pay for a bunch of random lip gloss and a scrunchie. And even if we factor in shipping costs there, I truly don't understand how people can sit here and still tell me, still fight with me and say that I got a good deal, earning $14.34 of useful, question mark, potentially maybe useful items, a bunch of free junk, and not even the packing video that I paid for. With this order, roughly $36 was just thrown into the void. But at the end of the day, it's just research. It's very messy and confusing research from somebody who really doesn't know what she's doing. But I did it for you guys, so the least you can do to help ease my pain from wasting my money, accidentally breaking the law, and having to go through the most confusing email exchanges of my life the least you can do is subscribe, like this video, and comment telling me which TikTok store I should start beef with, because low-key, I'm bored. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.